of Bidesygn, and today I'm going to be talking about depression. Depression is a common but severe mood disorder, and it is distinctive to bipolar disorder because people experience highs, which is the manic or hypomanic episodes, and then they also have depressive episodes. And so I'm just going to read over some signs and symptoms of depression. And basically, it starts with persistent, sad, anxious, or empty mood, feeling of hopelessness and pessimism, irritability, feelings of guilt, worthlessness, or hopelessness, loss of interest or pleasure in hobbies and activities, decreased energy or fatigue, moving or talking more slowly, feeling restless or having trouble sitting still, difficulty concentrating, remembering, or making decisions, difficulty in sleeping, early morning awakening or oversleeping, appetite and or body changes, thoughts of death, suicide or suicide attempts, aches or pains, headaches, cramps, or digestive problems without a clear physical cause and or that do not ease with treatment. And so I can honestly say that I have experienced a good bit of those symptoms, and quite frankly, I have been depressed for the majority of my life. I just didn't know it. I just thought that was just how I felt, or I would just cover up my feelings with distractions like work or school. And I can think of a few times where my depression was just very pronounced, and that was during the time of my senior year in college. My senior year of college, I should be happy that I'm about to graduate, and I'm just depressed. And I remember one particular day I had to turn in a paper, and I came to class probably around 15 minutes late. I had shades on, I had a hat on, I just did not care. And I thought I was just experiencing arthritis, but it really just was me going through a depressive episode and just not knowing it. And even after graduation, I was depressed because I was just like, what now? What do I do? I don't know what to do with my life because my distraction was gone. I had to really face my real feelings about myself and my life and trying to figure things out, which I'm sure a lot of people experience. Fast forward to basically this year and being diagnosed, while I was manic. And then there's some things that happened between my diagnosis and my depression because I was still manic. And I'm going to talk about that in another video, but I just want to focus on depression today. So I come back from a trip and I get back home and I'm just instantly hit with depression. I'm just like walking down my staircase and I just start bawling. I'm like, God, why me? Why do I have to go through this? What did I do to deserve this? And it's just one thing after another. Just existing became overwhelming. Everything in my life was just overwhelming. And then I made some decisions when I was manic that I regretted when the depression hit. And most of that was, of course, financial because I spent thousands of dollars. And I was just like, what am I going to do? Like, what if I have to sell my house and move in with my parents and sell my belongings, which is extreme, but that's what happens when you're depressed. You think of the absolute worst that can happen. And so I was not like the greatest person to be around because I just walked around with this cloud over my head. But I will say that during my depression, I realized who was there for me and who wasn't because everybody was, my buddy when I was giving money away. And then all of a sudden I'm just like, I can't give you money anymore because, my bank account looking kind of low. And all of a sudden people just disappear. Um, but the people who were there for me and are watching this, I am forever grateful. Um, my parents, my grandma, my auntie, my coworkers and friends, they really just like came through. Everybody who checked on me, and I I was just not in a good place at all. And they basically just toughed it out with me. So I'm forever grateful. So basically during this time, I just was just in my bed, just stayed in my bed all day, just stare at the ceiling, stare at the wall. And it gotten to the point where I'm just like, I can't even take care of my dog because I can't even take care of myself right now. I didn't eat. I lost so much weight because I just didn't have the desire to eat. I didn't have an appetite. I would have to force myself to eat. And so I asked my parents to take care of my dog during that time. And also, I was starting to school again. And I was actually taking a break when I was diagnosed because of the class schedule. Um, and I was depressed, and I was just like, great, I'm about to, take my last couple of classes left before I graduate with my master's. And school was overwhelming. I had to contact the disability department to kind of, let them know what's going on with me so they can adjust my due dates of some of my assignments, which I didn't do very often. I mostly turned everything in on time. Um, and then also things went awry with my insurance because it was just one thing after another with that, which I definitely want to talk about in another video. But just to sum everything up, my first counselor did not sign off on my short-term disability, and I basically stopped going to him altogether and then went to another counselor who did sign off on it, and they were processing it and something went awry with my insurance, and then they're saying, oh well, you're not going to get short-term disability. And eventually I got it, working through some insurance issues with my job, but still it was a very stressful time on top of dealing with my depression. I'm just like, I need money because I'm out of work right now. I'm not getting any income. And so it was just adding to my depression, really. And so basically, I don't wish depression on anybody. It is one of the worst feelings, and you will never understand it until you go through it. It's not just I'm sad about something for a couple of days. Like, this lasts a long time, and it takes a lot to get out of it. And so with me in particular, I was on mood stabilizers, which is basically, me coming down from my mania. But then when I hit was stabilizing, and all of a sudden I'm going into the depression, I didn't have antidepressants. I didn't have antidepressants until um, after I went back to work. And so I was starting work. I'm still depressed. I'm still overwhelmed, and nobody's really understanding what I'm going through. And so my doctor was basically reluctant to give me antidepressants because sometimes antidepressants can possibly trigger another manic episode because they're supposed to put you in a high mood. And so you have to be careful with the dosage and just prescribing them. So it's really tricky um, dealing with bipolar disorder and having to balance your mood stabilizers with your antidepressants or whatever other medicine that you've been prescribed on. I know people who have medicine that is for their anxiety and just a lot of different things. But basically, I really appreciate all my friends and family that stuck through me because, once again, I was just not the greatest person to be around. And I would consistently be talking about, you know, how I felt guilty or just apologizing for X, Y, and Z. People are like, it's okay to me. Like, you don't have to keep apologizing for the same thing over again. But it yeah, it was rough. Um, and even so, I'm still kind of feeling a little bit depressed at sometimes. It's just like, it's sadly it's become comfortable for me because, like I said, I've been dealing with depression for most of my life. So once again, I mean, and depression doesn't look like something. It doesn't, you just can't look at somebody instead of depressed. A lot of people are battling depression and they look like they're the happiest person in the world. So that's my experience with depression. So when you have the chance, please go to my website, bidesygn.com. I just added some new content, such as my music page. Also added bipolar basics and help for people to better understand bipolar disorder and also seek help through various hotlines. Also, uh, like, follow, and share my Facebook page. Also, follow me on Instagram. Also, follow me on Twitter and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you have any questions or concerns, you can also contact me on my website. I have an email specifically for this website if there's anything that you would like for me to talk about or discuss. And I hope you have a great day. Bye.